And so the first thing that you want to do is get clear on what you want to achieve. We don't achieve goals that we want to achieve. We achieve goals that we must achieve. What is limiting you right now from being healthier, having more energy, sleeping better, having a better relationship, making more money, building your business? Like, what is limiting you right now? We're talking about achieving any goal faster, any goal faster. And of course, as always, I'm going to use, the latest in how the brain works to help you achieve any goal faster. So let's come up with a little framework for today for achieving any goal faster. I'm going to share with you a way to think about goals and achieving any goal. And as I mentioned before, we're going to use, the latest in brain science to understand how can you achieve goals faster. Would you agree that a lot of people are really good at setting goals, but not many are good at completing and achieving goals? So what do you think the number one, well, there isn't really only number one reasons most people don't achieve goals, but I'm going to share with you a way to think about goals that'll activate your entire brain so your brain works for you. And let me ask you a question. Do you agree that you and I both have a very, very powerful brain that can help us achieve just about anything? We've put humans on the moon. We've invented technologies. We've built skyscrapers. We've innovated. So, Jen, you say commitment. That is definitely one of the things that's important. I mean, if you're committed, you can find a way, right? And when you're not committed, you find an excuse. But let me share with you a couple of things to activate different parts of your brain. So number one, your brain loves clarity. And there's a part of the brain that I refer to as the GPS part of the brain. And the GPS part of the brain is like a guidance, missile system. And this part of the brain requires clarity. So the first thing that you need to be clear on with your brain, if you want to use the best in neuroscience and neuropsychology, you have to know what goal you want to achieve in as many details and specifics as possible. So just like if you're building a house, and you're working with an architect's going to ask you, do you want 1 story or 2 stories, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, 8 bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how many levels? And so the first thing that you want to do is get clear on what you want to achieve. Without clarity, your brain really can't work. And I want you to understand something. When we're choosing to be clear, we're activating certain parts of our brain. There's a certain part of the brain that can choose this or that. And the more clear you are, the more clear it is for your brain to help you achieve that goal. But here is something that's really important. Most people are afraid of being clear about what they want because they don't yet know how to achieve them. So they lower the goal instead of setting the goal and then figuring out how to achieve the goal. Does that make sense? So number one, all right, is we want to be clear on our goals. Number two, this is important, by the way, just so you know, when we set a goal, we're using this part of the brain. I just divided my brain into two just to teach you. There's something here called the left prefrontal cortex, and it has a function. There's the right prefrontal cortex, and it has a function. There's many other components of the brain, but the left prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that you want to use to get clear and to choose what you want. But here is something that happens to a lot of people. When they choose a goal that they want to achieve, there's another part of their brain. And if you can see my screen up there, you see Frankie's monster up there. Let me show you all on Instagram up there. You see Frankie's monster up there. There's another part of the brain that's always going, but what if you fail? What if you're embarrassed? What if you're ashamed? What if you're ridiculed? What if you're disappointed? What if you're rejected? What if you're judged? So you have a part of the brain that is always going to try to be the negative critic side of your brain. And we all have reasons why we might not be able to achieve the goal, right? So in addition to what we want to achieve, and pay attention, I mean, this is so important. What we want to achieve, I want you to write down something. Why must I achieve this goal? Whether it's health, wealth, relationships, career, business, financial, it doesn't matter, what the goal is. Now, pay attention to the words that I just used. Why must I achieve this goal? We don't achieve goals that we want to achieve. We achieve goals that we must achieve. Now, there's a reason you have to answer this question. There's a part of the brain, called the limbic system. When our brain was developing, we developed the stem, and what is known as the lizard brain or the reptilian instinctual brain. Then the emotional brain was developed, and then the neocortex, the top layer of the brain, developed after that. But we are emotional creatures, right? And so think about this. If you had a brother, a sister, a mother, a father, or a baby that was in a burning building, wouldn't you run in there to save them if you could? Well, why would you save them if you could? Why would you risk your own life to save them if you could? Because there's an emotional reason that's bigger than the danger. There's an emotional reason that's bigger than the fear. There's an emotional reason that's bigger than the embarrassment or the shame or even dying. And Lisa, no, you don't do it because you decide. There's many things you and I have decided to do that we don't do. So no, it's when your why you must do it is bigger than your stories, reasons, excuses, and why nots. So we have to have emotional fuel to override why we must do it. Does that make sense so far? Listen, these are circuits in your brain that if you don't learn how to manage those, they're going to manage you. And you'll have lots of goals, but you won't achieve them. That I can guarantee you. 92% of people do not achieve their goals. 92% of people do not achieve most of their goals. So we have what and clarity. Number two, we have to have why must I achieve this goal? 3, when? When am I going to achieve this by? So why do we have to have a timeline? There's something called the Pareto principle, and there's something called Parkinson's law. For today, I'm going to talk to you about Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law says that we will accomplish what we need to accomplish in the time that we give ourselves to accomplish it. And so when we have what we want to achieve, when we have why we must achieve it, when we have a when do we want to achieve it by, and that when is reasonable. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday, one of our clients in one of my coaching programs said, she has a goal of living in a $20 million penthouse. I said, great, good for you. I like that goal. Why must you achieve it? She goes, because, I really want to fulfill my potential. I want to take care of my family and I want to show we can do it. She gave me a whole bunch of reasons why she must. I said, great. When do you want to achieve it by? She goes, within 1 year. I said, hold on a second. You're making about $5,000 a month right now, and you want to move into a $20 million apartment a year from now? You're not being realistic. So your brain's going to shut you down. And it's going to say, there's no real chance that you're going to achieve this. So it sets up a doubt, fear, and stress circuit that deactivates the motivational circuit in the brain. All right, listen, I'm giving you the neuroscience of achieving your goals faster. You don't want to do it. That's up to you. But I'm telling you, I've achieved health, wealth, relationship, career, business goals following this process. So we need what, we need why, we need when do you want to achieve it by, and it must be somewhat realistic. Here is the fourth part, and many of you are failing here. Ready? How? How are you going to Get the weight off and keep it off. How are you going to double your weekly or monthly salary? How? What are your strategies? What are you going to do today, this week, this month? How specifically are you going to achieve the goal? Most people hope, pray, and dream that they're going to achieve the goal, but they have zero plan. Somebody type this out for me. PPP equals PPP. PPP equals PPP. The letter P, not peeing. PPP equals PPP. Does anybody know what PPP equals PPP? Piss poor planning equals piss poor performance. So poor planning equals poor performance. Okay. So now we have what? We have why, you must. We have when will you achieve it by. Now we have to have how. Now we have to have how. How are you going to do it? How are you going to make your relationship better? How are you going to make more money? How are you going to build that business? How are you going to leave that job and start something new? How are you going to get a raise in your career? How are you going to advance? How are you going to lose weight, keep it off? How are you, like how? How? Take a look at your calendar and see how many action items you have in there to achieve the goals that you have. Do you have your goals? And then do you have your plan? And do you have it on your calendar to base your actions upon those plans? Most people, zero planning, hope and prayer is their plan of choice. So without the how, so let me go back for just a moment. Without the what, you don't turn on the what circuit, okay, that activates the reward motivational circuit. Without the why, you don't turn on your emotional circuit, okay, which activates dopamine and activates adrenaline. Without the when, you activate your stress and uncertainty circuit so your brain doesn't have motivation. Without the how, you activate the fear center because your brain says, well, without a plan of how to achieve it, chances are you're going to fail. Because the chances are that you're going to fail is high, then I'm going to reduce motivation, reduce behavior. I'm going to keep you stuck in your comfort zone so at least you don't disappoint yourself. Does that make sense? I've given you the reasons why you have to have these circuits in your brain working together. All right. Does this make sense? Do you like this? This is the neuroscience of achievement instead of the neuroscience of setting goals. So then we have to have a couple more pieces. I said I would do this in 20 minutes. Then we need to know who can help you. Who can help you? Like who can help you? Who can help you? Is there, who can help you? You can also say, what do I need to help me? What knowledge, what skills do I need? So now we have what, why, when, okay, how, and who. Two more pieces to this. Two more pieces, so stick around. Piece number one. What obstacles are in your way right now? Like your brain knows that there are obstacles. Do you have any mental obstacles? Do you have any emotional obstacles? Do you have any financial obstacles? Do you have any knowledge or skills obstacles? What are the known obstacles that you have that are in your way right now? And then along with what obstacles are in your way, what's limiting you right now? If your brain is worth $100 billion, what is limiting you right now from being healthier, having more energy, sleeping better, having a better relationship, making more money, building your business? Like what is limiting you right now, right? What is limiting you? See, if you have the what, the why, the when, the how, okay, the who, then you also need to be smart enough to say, here are the obstacles and here's what's limiting me, so you can move the obstacles away and shatter your limitations. All right, so Martin says, I don't have all the steps clear. Great, get the steps clear. It's 2023, October 2023. We know how to overcome fear, Adi. We know how to create the steps, Martin. All right. We know how to regulate emotions. All right. All right. How I'm not speaking up about that topic today. All right. All right. So when we have the process right, lack of time, I'm going to say bullshit. You have plenty of time. You have 160, plus hours a week. You have more than enough time. That's a story and excuse you're giving yourself. So overprotection of what, right? Overprotection of what? Mindset switch, no limitations. All right. So if your why is big enough, what you need to do will be easier, right? So I gave you the secrets to achieving your goals faster. Be specific on the what. Have a why that's bigger than the fears and stories and reason and excuses, etc. Okay. Know when you want to achieve goals by make it realistic. Know exactly how you're going to achieve it. Know who can help you and what help do you need. And then you need to make a list of the obstacles and your limitations, okay, and overcome them. All right. Does that make sense so far? All right. All right. If that makes sense, that's great. Hey, this is John. And if you liked that video, watch the next video because it is packed with things that you can do right now to achieve success way faster than ever before.